What up? Welcome to Everyman Hybrid Rambling Part 7. This should be the last part, and if it isn't, then it will end in Part 8. But I really goddamn hope that there's not a Part 8. But there might be. There might just be. Alright, we might be crazy enough to stretch this out to 8 parts. Who knows? Alright, quick recap before we just jump into it. Is last time we were watching Everyman Hybrid, Vinny got out of the apartment, blah blah blah. He made a little Christmas tradition video, right? Because it's a tradition for Vinny to make a video on the Everyman Hybrid boys during Christmas time. So, yeah. He explained some stuff. Go to part 6 if you want that explained, or go into the link in the description and watch the videos on the Everyman Hybrid channel. Alright, now, let us just please jump into it. Please. Please. Alright. Where we pick up with Everyman Hybrid is... So, a viewer named The Sharp One got some stuff in the mail, which then led him to get in contact with William Davidson. If you remember earlier on, there's a girl named Linny in the series. She knew Dr. James Corenthal. She was living with adopted parents. I can't remember the lady's name. May have been Rose. May have not been Rose. But one of the adopted parents was William Davidson. So, user The Sharp One got into contact with William Davidson and received a USB and like a package of things. Now I will read you this little message. Now, one of the old tape recordings was in the package, but seemed too damaged to restore. This was accompanied by a folder with a transcript of some recordings that didn't... Oh, in this package there was some audio recordings, but... Now I will read this. One of the old tape recordings was in the package, but seemed too damaged to restore. This was accompanied by a folder with a transcript of some of the recordings that didn't have digital files. I've typed them up to make it easier for others to follow along. You'll hear a bell when you have to do some reading. I'm not sure if Vinny wants us to listen to these. I almost contemplated not releasing them, but I truly think listening to these recordings is going to be the only way for us to help Vinny now. Now, what this package was, is called the Princeton tapes, or a correspondence interrupted. What this is old recordings of an iteration of Vinny from the 1980s, who moved to Princeton, New Jersey, and has some weird happenings happen to him. Now, we are not going to go over all of these tapes. What is important to bring up from these tapes is that this iteration of Vinny was able to was able to almost find a way to get answers and to get to the end of this. But something happened to interrupt him. Now, very sad. Very sad. But we are not going to go over all of these files because there's just too much to go over. And I feel like a lot of it should be experienced by yourself. A lot of this should be experienced on your own, right? Because a lot of this is a little inconsequential to the actual overarching narrative of the Everyman Hybrid series, but it is important, and it also is really cool to just see, to just hear more like, because you don't get to see them, but you hear them, hear a different iteration of Vinny. So yeah. We are going to skip this, but I will put the Princeton tapes down in the description below for everyone to check out. So please go check it out. It's very good. It is hands down one of my favorite parts of Everyman Hybrid. It is such a fucking interesting part of the story. But now we pick up in one of the last videos of the channel. We have 7 more videos on the channel left to go through. So now let us properly just jump into it. Alright, now the video starts. This video is titled Sleeping Dogs Lie. The video starts with our Vinny listening to the Princeton tapes. He says that he has spent the past couple of weeks listening to recordings of supposed tapes that it seems you guys have received. Vinny says he doesn't know what to do about this, but he can't leave it like this. He says that, you know, this is about the doctor, the kids, right? This dude sounds just like him, has the same name as him, and is in the exact same predicament. Vinny proclaims that he's gonna leave, and there's nothing Habit can do about it. Vinny tries to leave. He tells Habit that he's leaving, and he tries to leave, but the door is locked, as to be expected. Habit is there in the apartment, by the way. He is sitting there. He's sitting in a fucking recliner with an old CRT just playing next to him. Vinny tells Habit to open the door. Habit says, "We had a deal. We have a plan." Vinny says, "I know we had a deal, but this can help. You fucking heard. The doctor, the kids, the home. This could help me. This could help you. This is answers." Habit then charges at Vinny and holds him up against a wall. Vinny says that we haven't seen him in months. You know who he's talking about. The big guy. That old stick in the mud, right? Habit says, "Well, you know why we haven't seen him in months? It's because we're here, right? So this little apartment that they're in is some kind of safe place from the big guy." Habit tells Vinny that there's things you don't understand about all this. There's a formula in place. You know, because Vinny's asking Habit, like, "Hey, come with me." Habit's telling him there's things you don't understand about this at all. There's a formula in place. Habit tells Vinny that he's already fucked it up. And Habit says that he was so fucking excited. Habit says, "You still think any of this is about you? You think any of this is for your benefit?" Now I want to dig into that line a little bit. You think any of this is about you? Who have I been saying for the past couple of episodes that is the director of the channel? Who's the one who's been in control of this whole thing this whole time? Habit. You really think this is all about you? This isn't Everyman Hybrid. This is the Habit show, right? And Vinny's now fucking up the plot. He's fucking up the plot of Habit's show. At least that's what I think. Habit is kind of skirting the line of saying right here in this moment. In a moment of anger towards Vinny. It tells Vinny this is maddening, but hey, if you want to leave, then come on. Habit tells Vinny that he can just leave, and if he's not going to be useful, he can at least be entertaining. So Habit gives him the camera. A camera that Habit had on him. A better camera, better quality camera. And he also tells Vinny, he also gives Vinny the little box from the Sigma radiation video that was Rick ticking when they found it in the storage locker and the tall man was there, and what was Rick ticking when Evan started bleeding, right? Ugh. And Habit tells him, "You're gonna need this if you're gonna want to survive," right? So there's gonna be a big Slendy guy out there, and he's gonna be gunning for Vincent, for little Vinny. And Vinny's gonna need that little box. He's gonna need that little radiation detector to keep himself safe, Habit's pretty much telling Vinny to KYS, keep yourself safe. Habit allows Vinny to leave. He throws the car keys down to him at the bottom of the stairs. Vinny opens up the door, He falls to the ground, touching the grass. Vinny has left. Vinny is able to leave. Vinny can now go touch grass. Woo! Let's go. And that is the end of that video. Now we lead into the next video. Now this is going to be a long one. There's going to be a lot to discuss. Lads, next video is the drive west. Now, these next two videos, I almost see them as cut up into two different sections of an ending. There is Sleeping Dogs Lie, which we just talked about. There's the Drive West, and then right after that, there's Finding Fairmount. That is the Vinny being able to leave the apartment and finally go try and find some answers. That is that saga of the story. And then after that, there is Half Acre of Ash, The Day the World Ended, and All Good Things. And that is the Vinny returns back to habit portion of the story. And then after that, we have 3 more things to end us out. But I'm only going to discuss one thing out of this 3 more things to end us out. At least I will discuss the last of these final 3 more things in more depth than I will the other 2. But yeah. The Drive West and Finding Fairmount, there's some long-ass videos. They are definitely some long-ass videos. So, there may be a part 8, I will say. There may be a motherfucking part 8. Because the Drive West is 27 minutes long, and Finding Fairmount is 33 minutes long. Those are gonna be that's some long-ass shit already. And then after that, Half Acre of Ash is 17 minutes long, and The Day the World Ended is 33 minutes long, and All Good Things is 18 minutes long. More long-ass content, you know? Over 2 hours of footage to watch and go through and decipher before we get to the definitive ending. So yeah, there may be a part 8, but maybe I could squeeze all of these videos into one, you know, go. Who knows? Who fucking knows, man? Alright, the Drive West. Let's just jump into it, baby girl. The description of this video is your go-to source for happy and healthy lifestyle on a budget. Just like the first couple of videos on the channel, you know? Now, before I start delving into these last 6 videos on the channel, I want to say, please, go and watch Everyman Hybrid. Go to the link in the description, go to the channel, watch it, dude. It's fucking amazing, it's really good. Alright, now let's just jump into it. So, there's a lot to this video, so I'm going to only really go over really important points, and I'm going to kind of skim through things that I don't deem as important. Right? This video starts with Vinny driving, and he's saying, so the first thing these tapes say is, don't get anyone else involved. What do you guys go and do? You plaster it all over the goddamn internet. Vinny said he was just browsing, and he found them. And he says, in this entire thing that I've learned, if somebody says don't get anyone else involved, don't get anyone else involved. Vinny also says that, you know, he appreciates all the work that we do to help, and this is leading him somewhere for answers, and he appreciates it, even if we are goddamn idiots. And you know what, as fans, yeah, we probably are. We probably are. Habit's probably, me making the series, Habit's probably gonna break through my fucking window, my broken ass window, and like, make me experience the kiss of death, you know what I mean? In the next part of what Vinny has to talk about, he takes a step back gives us a little update on what's been going on. He says, it's been a while since I've updated you guys on anything, and that's because nothing's really happened. But he said he was browsing the internet one day. Oh, goddamn. He said he was browsing the internet one day, and he received a package in the mail. Oh, no. He found audio recordings of someone that sounds a lot like him that someone had received in the mail, right? He's talking about the Princeton tapes, obviously. Vinny describes what he experienced in these tapes, and he says that, it's audio recordings of someone that sounds like him, but it isn't him because he hasn't recorded anything like that. And what we're learning here is that Vinny still does not understand the concept of iterations or anything like that. Even if he can see the hidden videos on the channel, even if he's seen himself die and come back, he still doesn't get it. He doesn't understand these iteration cycles, which is fair. All he knows is I died and I came back. All he knows is like, I don't remember any of those things in these hidden Morse code videos, right? Like, that's fair. But yeah. He does mention that one thing that keeps getting brought up in these tapes is the Fairmount home. Ugh. The center that the mining town 4 was in. And he says that he is going to find Fairmount. That's where he's going. That's where this drive west is going to lead Vinny. Is the Fairmount home. For troubled children, or something like, whatever the name of that building was called. Yeah. Vinny says that he ripped all of the recordings of the Princeton tapes onto a physical tape recorder, so if he needs to listen to any of it, he doesn't have to rely on a phone or anything like that runs off internet. He can just pull the tape out and listen to it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Cut a little further into the video. Vinny's having a little emotional moment in the car where he apologizes to everyone and anyone that may have been brought into this because of the Everyman Hybrid boys. And he specifically apologizes to Sean Anderson from ML Anderson, Michael Anderson's brother, He said he's sorry, and he wouldn't have brought him there if he didn't know that any of that would happen, If you want a more detailed understanding of what happened to Sean Anderson, go watch my ML Anderson video. I go pretty in-depth into what happened to Sean. Vinny says that he... Brain fart. Vinny says that, keeping us updated is the least that he can do. And if any of this helps anyone in a similar situation, it won't all be in vain, The next scene, Vinny turns the camera on abruptly, by the way that he's holding it. And you could hear the little black box going tick, 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 tick. Vinny says that sometimes it goes off like this. Sometimes it goes off so loud it's like a ringing noise, or like it starts beeping. And as Vinny starts to explain, being like, here, take a listen, maybe it'll start ringing again. He looks forward, he looks a little bit confused, and he's like, what's this ahead? And as he drives ahead, he pulls up to a little something. He turns the camera around and you can see something on the side of the road. As he pulls up, start to notice it's Jeff. And Jeff's like, hey Vin, you ready? We're gonna go, we're gonna go film a little hiking thing. And Vinny's like, you're dead. You're dead. You can't be here. You can't be here. And Jeff's like, no, what are you talking about, man? We're gonna go film a little hiking thing, right? And Jeff starts to walk a little bit closer to the car, and Vinny gets freaked out, and he speeds off. And as he speeds off, you can hear him start to cry a little bit, right? Now, what I think this is, so, earlier on in the series, in the video next, when Habit kills Steph and the group's friend Daniel, and he threatens to burn Jeff's body, what I think this is one of Slenderman's little dogs, as Habit describes it. His little human bodies that he brings back to life and puppeteers to do his bidding. In the video next, they were there to try and kill Habit. But in this video, I think this little Slenderman dog is there to try and lure Vinny in to a trap, to be captured, to then be killed. Or something, you know? And look, we've seen these little Slenderman dogs before in the next video, as we've even seen ones that we recognize, right? Like Alex, Jeff's brother Alex. In the next video, you see Alex upstairs. And he's walking around the house, he's looking for something, and then Habit goes up, and you can see that he fights back against it. Habit wins, obviously, because he's stronger. He's a god. Maybe Habit's a god, right? Habit's an entity with immense strength. But, yeah. We've seen the Slendy guy use these little dogs before, and we've seen the Slendy guy use people that we have been acquainted with as dogs before too. So that's my belief about what this little Jeff is. It's one of Slendy guy's little nasty dogs, his little nasty rascals. And but besides that, as Vinny starts to speed off away from this little Slenderman dog Jeff, starts coughing pretty hard, and he has to pull his car over for a second, get out, cough on the road, most likely spit up some kind of bile, you know, maybe some black bile, like we've seen before, when the Slendy guy is around. And then, you know, the drive continues. A bit further on into the video, after a really good driving montage, I love that little driving montage, it's so, like, nice. Go in the link in the description, go watch this motherfucking video. It's called The Drive West, alright? Go watch that driving montage, it's good, alright? Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on Everyman Hybrid. Or I'll fucking sleep you. I'll sleep you with my fists, or I'll fucking boom. I'll fucking swing my fist back, break your jaw off, alright? But yeah, after this little driving montage, Vinny says he's eepy. And he's scared that he might crash and die, right? He's about 2 hours away from the hospital, but he's scared he might crash and die. So he stopped his car off on the side of the road, and he's just going to take a few hours to rest. And then he will, be up and ready to go in a bit. And complete this journey of getting to Fairmount. Then the camera starts to fuck up a little bit. Then a big fucking blinding flash of light comes in through the front of Vinny's car. And audio distortion happens. And then big visual distortion happens, and then Vinny wakes up in like a wooded field, plains looking ass area. So yeah. Vinny's been transported somewhere, and now it is currently daytime, because in that footage before he gets transported, it's nighttime, but now it is daytime. So, yeah. Vinny, puts the camera down for a second to bandage up his arm. Seems like our little guy's gotten injured. After Vinny's done bandaging up his shit, boy, he picks the camera up and he starts to hear that little box going tick, 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 tick. And then the camera starts to distort a little bit. So Vinny starts to run. And he's still in this field, right? He doesn't know where he is, and his car's not there either. But he does have his bag of supplies, so that is good. Vinny runs and runs until the ticking stops and the visual distortion on the video starts to, calm down a little bit. And then, he keeps on his merry way, just keeps walking the trail. Because what else are you going to do at this point? You're stuck in a random field and in some, in a wooded ass area, and most likely a forest or some shit. Time to just keep pushing forward, Vin, As Vinny's walking through the forest, he hears a voice, turns around, and it's Jeff again. But this time, Jeff's got some blood on him, and he's limping at him. And he's saying to Vinny, "It's my brother. He's in danger. We need help. We need help just over the hill over here. Please help." And Vinny says no, and Jeff says, "It's Alex, Vin. He needs help. He's hurt." And Vinny just straight, cold face, "You're dead. Fuck you. Fuck you." And then he starts running away. Pretty understandable. I think I would too. And as Vinny's running away, you could hear Jeff yell, "You could have fucking saved us!" It seems the Slendy guy is using Jeff to both try to entice, try to lure Vinny, but also taunt him for the regrets that Vinny already holds inside of him. And as Vinny runs away, the little block starts ticking again, and the ticks are starting to get a little louder. Vinny keeps running, and eventually the ticks stop, and he just keeps following the trail, like anyone would. The ticks come back, and the video distortion comes back yet again. And as Vinny's running and the camera distortion is getting worse, we get a little flash of what looks like Jeff lying up against a tree, looking pretty corpse-like, I will say. But Vinny's a smart boy. He keeps going. Truck past that, it doesn't matter. That's not Jeff anymore. That's something else. The video distortion starts to get even worse. Even fucking worse. So bad that we can't even see anything, and the screen just keeps going black at points. We get a flash of a beach, and then we see Vinny's camera pointed up. It's all blurry, but we can see kind of Vinny coughing and crawling in the distance. It seems to be nighttime now, and Vinny doesn't seem to be in the field, or on the trail that we saw him on before. Vinny sees the camera, he runs to it, he picks it up, and now he seems to be on that beach. He sees Jeff walk by, screaming about something, like I can't do this alone. Vinny just says, no, fuck you. And then, now, this beach seems to be near a town or something, right? We see life. We see cars going by from in the distance. We see a bunch of buildings and lights in the distance close to this beach. So he's not in that field or on that trail or in that forest, that wooded area anymore. He's near what I would call a populated area. He holds the black box up, and it is lightly ticking. It's going tick, 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 tick. Vinny hears a loud siren start blaring, and he starts running towards the water because the other direction has the little ticking noise on it. The populated area is not the way to go. Vinny starts running towards the ocean, and he starts running towards the water on this beach. Now, where have we heard sirens before? They've mentioned a couple of times that when the Slendy guy's around, you could hear the sirens, right? You could hear loud sirens. So, Vinny starts to run towards the water. And when he gets into the water, immediately cuts back to that field. It's daytime again, but now Vinny is in a creek or some shit. He walks out of the creek, and he seems to be back in that wooded, fielded area. Maybe potentially on that trail, maybe not. We don't exactly know yet. Vinny made it out of that little predicament. No scary Jeffs, no more Slendy guys. He walks up this little path, and boom, there's his car. He gets into his car, and while he's walking there, he has this great little moment where he's like, "Oh, you wouldn't last 2 fucking seconds. Fuck you. I made it. I made it." He's taunting Habit a little bit, you know, he's coming at Habit a little bit because Habit said he wouldn't make it. He made it. He made it out of Slendy Guy's trap. He's back at his car. It's time to keep driving. We're close to Fairmount, boys. Time for some answers. Something, you know? And then the very final part of the video, with only 1 minute left, it cuts to footage inside of Habit's apartment. He's just sitting in his chair, and he's listening to some audio of some man pleading for his life, or pleading for someone to help him. Now, I'm going to jump the gun a little bit. I'm going to talk about this first. So, a little bit later on, someone will get sent something called Box 7. In Box 7, there's 2 audio recordings and some other miscellaneous items, but the 2 big things are these 2 audio recordings called Tape 3, and I think the other one is called Home Phone 2005. Yes, it is. Now, in Tape 3, it is a different iteration of the Vinny in the 1980s. It's a separate iteration of Vinny who gets a tape recorder and starts doing these little investigations with a man named Roger Palladino. Now, Roger Palladino was someone in this iteration of Everyman Hybrid that Habit had already fucked with. It was the dude that had to write down the recording about, write down the little note about the SWAT team that he watched get murdered by Habit and the Slendy guy. But in this recording, in Tape 3, Roger Palladino, you get to hear his voice, you get to hear him talk to Vinny and stuff like that. But in this recording, the man who's suffering and pleading for his life and pleading for someone to come help him sounds very much like Roger Palladino from Tape 3. So my thinking is that Habit is listening to audio of Roger Palladino dying, or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know for certain. It's one of those things that's not going to be answered because it didn't get answered in the ending. But it's just an interesting little note. Yeah. And now we move on to the video, Finding Fairmount. Okay, so Finding Fairmount starts with about a minute of older Everyman Hybrid footage from previous videos. Just some kind of like scattered footage. And then it cuts in to what we're all here for. Vinny has continued the drive to get to Fairmount. Vinny has finally arrived to Fairmount. He is here. At the start he calls himself nuts, but now he is here. While walking up to the building, Vinny starts playing the last audio tape of the Princeton tapes while he is trying to find a way to get into the building. Now, if you have not listened to the Princeton tapes yet, before getting to this video, and anything after this video, you definitely need to listen to the Princeton tapes first. They are very important, and there's things that pertain to the Princeton tapes in this video itself, which I will describe. But before going on into this section, you need to listen to the Princeton tapes first. That is just a little note that I will put right here for everyone watching. While Vinny is walking up to the building, a part of the tape that is not on the Princeton tapes plays from his little audio recorder. It sounds like Dr. Peters, the man that Vinny, the Princeton tapes Vinny is talking to in the tape. Sounds like he gets inhabited towards the end there, and he says, you're a determined little cunt, are you? When the Princeton tapes, Vinny is asking him about Dr. James Corenthal. It sounds like Dr. Peters gets inhabited. He asks Vinny, you're a determined little cunt, are you? And then that Vinny's like, what? And Dr. Peters says, you heard me, before the tape cuts out. And then our in-world, the Everyman Hybrid channel, Vinny, that we know and love, is like, what the hell? What? He's confused now, right? The tape's acting weird. It's acting up. It's acting a fool, you know? Vinny is very confused by this, but decides he's just gonna put the recorder away and go into the building. He is now at Fairmount. He is at the building itself. Home stretch, baby. Now, Vinny gets into the building, and he says something a little great. A little bit of one of the best lines in the whole series. He says, it feels familiar. It's like when you go... Bless me. I'm gonna retry that now. Vinny says, when he is now in the building, and Vinny says, it feels familiar. You know, like when your favorite shopping mall closes down, and you look at the abandoned building. You know, I've never been here before, but you know, I have all these memories. It feels like home. I'm not quoting that exactly. I'm fucking that quote up, definitely. But this Vinny feels a familiarity to this building. And you know, the Mining Town 4 being named Vinny, Jeff, Evan, and Steph. Some Vinny has been here before. Maybe not this Vinny, but some Vinny has been here before. And those memories have bled through into our current Vinny, you know? Now the tape recorder starts playing again. And our Vinny is confused. And on the tape recorder you can hear... the Princeton tapes, Vinny is like, what the fuck is this place? What the fuck is going on in this place? You know? Now, while this tape plays, it cuts to footage of what I can only guess is Princeton tape Vinny at the original Fairmount children's home before it was abandoned. It looks like and he's just like outside the building, he's walking up to it, and there's someone who's kind of hiding and recording him from a distance. But that's what the footage, at least that's what I think the footage is. I don't know. Go and watch Finding Fairmount. The footage that I'm talking about is around 7 minutes and 19 seconds in. And after that, cuts back to our current Vinny, who is still listening to the tape. He walks up to a window, and he sees those little Slenderman dolls, like he saw in the basement a few videos before this. Seems like there's a big Slendy guy that's around, you know? The tape stops while Vinny is still looking at these little Slendy dolls. And he says, this wasn't something that I was sent. This just went off in my backpack. It's new audio of the Princeton tapes that we've never heard before being played in this video. Seems very much specifically special for Vinny's ears to hear. But, you know, Vinny's recording, so we all get to hear it too. Ugh. And while Vinny's kind of talking about these new tapes, you hear someone call his name, It's Jeff, yet again. Then the camera starts going all distorted, yet again, right? We see Jeff walk by and go down the hallway a little bit and go into another doorway. Vinny follows him, and that Jeff is gone. He's he looks out the window, sees if Jeff's anywhere around. Jeff's gone, but the visual distortion is pretty bad. So something is definitely nearby. A big slendy guy, perhaps, you know? Vinny leaves this room fast while saying, I'm not getting trapped here, getting answers, and I'm getting out. Vinny leaves that building of Fairmount because there was nothing of use there. Then he also proclaims that, we all heard the tapes. There was none of that extra bit of footage at the end, right? What the fuck is going on with this little machine? He also says that he keeps seeing Jeff, and he knows he's still trying to lure him, right? But this Vinny's smart. He's not going to take that bait. I'm proud of you, Vin. I'm proud of you, right? Now, I just want to say, I am brushing over the Princeton tape parts of this video just because I didn't want to go in depth on the Princeton tapes. I wanted everyone else to experience them. So please, as I stated before, listen to the Princeton tapes before you get to this part of my video. And also, go fucking watch Everyman Hybrid, link in the description. Go listen to the Princeton tapes, link in the description. I swear to God, if you don't go and watch Everyman Hybrid, I'll do something drastic. I mean it. Vinny also says he's never felt this alone. But he kind of brushes that off also and says, he's going to the next building. Vinny starts walking towards the next building and he says, something does not feel right about the abyss in front of me. And he zooms the camera in, and the doorway to this next building straight up does look like an abyss. Straight up does look like you're entering into some fucked ass shit. I would not go in there. But, hey, Vin's trying to find answers, and he's gonna go in there. So I respect him, right? Big respect, Vince. Big respect, Vinny. Vinny the Goat No Cap, or something like that. Whatever Produced by Zach would say. And then, as he zooms the camera in further, Vinny turns around. He says, nah, I'm not doing that. So I guess Vinny not the Goat all cap? Damn, bro. But Vinny says he's going to go into one of the outer buildings. And I actually respect him, though. I wouldn't fucking want to go in there. That shit looks spooky. That shit looks scary as hell. So yeah, Vinny's going to go check out some of the outer buildings. Vinny gets to one of the outer buildings, and there's two paths, downstairs and upstairs, right? So he says, let's try downstairs first. As he starts to walk forward, you hear the machine go tick, 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 tick. So Vinny turns around. Let's try upstairs. Good little comedy moment. Good little comedy moment. As Vinny starts going up the stairs, the little machine in his pocket goes off yet again. Starts playing more audio that was not on the original Princeton tapes. And then the footage, yet again, cuts to that old Princeton tape Vinny walking in this building. Whatever is following him is now closer and recording him, right? And he's walking around this like campus-looking building. But I'm thinking it's most likely the Fairmount Children's Home building. You know what I mean? It has these like college campus ass windows that let you see the rest of the campus, but hospitals, big hospitals, and like care facilities and stuff like that, they also have those. So what I'm thinking is this building is original Fairmount Children's Home, and this is the Vinny from the Princeton tapes. And I'm not exactly sure if in this footage it's Vinny. It's even Vinny, but it really does look like Vinny. Like a lot. Like, it really looks like Vinny, like, a lot. And then the footage cuts back to currently what Vinny's doing. And he's walking around this building on the upstairs now. There's a few moments where he gets like super close to the edge of this upstairs area, and it wigs me the hell out, man. Vinny, don't be doing shit like that, dude. That's freaky as hell. But he finds a few more Slender dolls in this upstairs area. There's a tall guy nearby, you know. There's definitely a tall guy nearby doing shit. Not cool, in my opinion. Now, the tape ends, and Vinny turns the camera around, and he's got like a bleeding gash going down his face with a bandage covering it. And I genuinely don't know, like, how did Vinny get that fucking injury? I genuinely don't know. I can't remember anything from I mean, yeah, he could have gotten injured during the events of the drive west. That most likely is what it is. But yeah, how did Vinny get this little injury on his head? Vincent's got a little boo-boo. Vincent's got a little owie, brother. It's not doing okay, brother. Vinny starts to walk down the stairs, and camera starts to distort and fuck up a bit, and you can hear what sounds like Evan. Fuck is Evan doing here? Isn't Evan inhabited by habit, right? So why the fuck do we hear what sounds like Evan? Vinny asks, is that Jeff? Is that Evan? Right? Like I think anyone would. He pulls out the little black box, and as Vinny starts to walk out of the building, the little tick, 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 tick plays. So now his only choice is to go down into the basement. Vinny starts to walk deeper into the basement. As he walks deeper, the sound of Jeff and Evan gets closer. And it seems like some kind of psychic imprint of an event that happened in either a different iteration or in the past is happening, is playing in this moment, because it's Evan having a little freak out moment, and he's like, what's stopping me from caving your fucking head in? And Vinny pokes his camera around the corner, and it's Jeff and Evan. Jeff is yelling at Evan in this little hallway of Fairmount. So Vinny decides to truck on through. And we can see this Jeff trying to calm down Evan. Evan's holding his head. And he's like, get the fuck away from me, man. And our Vinny just kind of, he's like, excuse me. And he just kind of slips past him. And as he walks past him, the video distortion gets worse. And the little box starts going tick, tick, tick. And Vinny just runs out. He runs out of the building. Seems like the smart play then. As Vinny gets out, the tape recorder starts playing yet again. And it's playing new audio that we haven't heard yet again. Right? But this time it's more discernible. You can hear it better. Because Vinny's not talking over it. Just kidding. Just playing around a little bit. Just messing around a little bit. But, yeah. We hear more audio from this Princeton tape, Vinny. It seems that the audio that is playing, from what we can discern, this Princeton tape Vinny, what he experienced in this building is a habit takeover. Kind of like what happened to that SWAT team when Habit attacked it, right? A bunch of things, you know, Vinny's hiding under a desk, there's a bleeding person, there's all kinds of shit going on in this building that Vinny can't, comprehend. he, shit's going down. One has taken over the intercom, and they're saying the same thing over and over again on it. There's a bleeding man in the room with Vinny. There's all kinds of things going on. It seems like a habit attack has happened in Fairmount for Princeton tape Vinny. While this tape is playing, Vinny is walking closer and closer to the building that he didn't want to walk over to earlier. As Vinny starts to walk into this building, Princeton tape Vinny describes that Dr. Peters isn't really Dr. Peters anymore. He's walking all weird. He's acting all weird. Kind of sounds like the signs of a habit attack. Definitely. He's describing this. Princeton tape Vinny is describing that Dr. Peters' footsteps were like loud, but it looked like they were barely touching the ground. Audio plays. Vinny in this building. He's holding up the black box. It starts making tick, tick, tick noises, right? And he turns around, and we get a quick flash. For a second or two, we see him, the tall man, that stick in the mud, the slender man, right? He's there. He's right there. Tape keeps playing as Vinny runs, but it's hard to understand what's going on because of the audio and visual distortions that are playing at this scene. Vinny runs over to a window. He sets his camera up on a window real quick, and then starts looking in his bag. And the visual distortions just keep getting worse. Vinny's very panicked, understandably. Vinny starts fucking with a lockbox on the window, right? He's having a hard time with doing whatever he's trying to do. And we can see in the background that the tall man is edging ever so closely behind him. Getting closer and closer and closer. And as he gets to his closest point, camera distortion gets really bad, cuts out for a second, and we see Vinny running away down the hall of this building. Vinny says that he's starting to figure it out. If the box ticks a lot, he runs. If it ticks a little bit, he hides. And if it doesn't tick, he's good. Right? At the moment, the box is ticking just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's still kind of ticking. He's not in the truly safe path yet. The little audio recorder starts playing again. And as the audio starts playing again, what we can discern from it is Dr. Peters is saying something to Princeton tape Vinny. Princeton tape Vinny's yelling like, "What the fuck do you want?" Right? And he seems panicked. And our Vinny starts to walk up to some Slenderman dolls on the floor. Vinny starts looking at a map of Fairmount while this audio plays in the background, and he's right in front of these Slendy dolls still. The ticking has stopped at this point, and Vinny has a piece of paper with a bunch of different little symbols on it. He's looking for something in this building, right? Something that is a symbol. As he's looking at this little map and these symbols, ticking starts up again, and the visual distortion gets very much worse. So Vinny starts running. Vinny has continued to run somewhere. It's hard to tell because of the visual distortion, but we see a little flash of the tall man, and fucking the siren starts playing loud, right? Real loud, and the visual distortion gets even worse. Vinny runs out of the building, and stuff starts to get a little better. And then the scene cuts to Vinny in front of that building that he didn't want to go into. Earlier I thought the building that he went into was that building. It was not that building. This is the building that Vinny did not want to go into. Right? He is now in front of it, and the ticking gets a little, more. The ticking is it was stopped the moment we came into this new scene, but it has started up again, but quietly this time. Ugh. Chill and quietly. The siren has stopped. The ticking is happening in the opposite direction of the doorway that Vinny does not want to go into. Ugh. It seems like his only choice at this point is to go into that building. Vinny walks down a hallway, reaches a dead end, comments about how there's a window in front of him, and he said maybe taking a dive out that window is seems like the best option. But there's a spider in the window, so, you know, it's blocking his way. He won't commit suicide because there's a spider there. Yeah. I guess that's where we're at with Vinny at the moment. Suicidal. Now, Vinny is starting to leave this dead end. He's walking slowly towards the doorway that he entered in through. And near this doorway, he looks over, he sees Jeff cowering in a corner. Turns the other way, he sees Evan holding a knife, being all jittery. Turns back, and he sees an evil-ass looking Vinny walking towards him, all menacingly. So then, he shuts the door on him. And the door says SMD pussy on it. So, you know, suck my dick, pussy. I mean, there's graffiti all over this place, but the graffiti that I can see right here on this door says SMD pussy. So that's it's pretty funny. As Vinny is walking away from this dead end, he says, fuck me, fuck Jeff, fuck Evan, fuck everything. Same, bro. I respect it. Vinny is, he's walking around, points the box in one direction, tick, 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 right? Points the box in a different direction, no ticking. Seems like that's the best course of action, you know? So he starts going that way. He walks towards a window, ticking starts again, so he just keeps going down the path that he needs to. Camera cuts, and we cut to a new scene. Vinny says it's been 7 hours. He's been at this place for 7 hours now, hiding out from this creature. He says that the creature hasn't gone into the tall man hasn't gone into the building. He hasn't gone to the building yet. Vinny knows that he's just fucking with him, but Vinny says that he's trying to get up as high as he can in this building so he can see where he is. Vinny says that there's no sign of Dr. Peters. He hasn't found any office or anything like that. Vinny goes up to the roof to see where he is, to check the map. And he comments about how this map doesn't even make fucking sense. Which, makes sense, you know? Which does make sense because the Princeton tape Vinny talked about how this building is like a labyrinth. So it seems at least that Princeton tape and this Vinny have that commonality here, right? Same building, same kind of labyrinth-ass design or whatever. Vinny starts to walk out of the building or onto another place, and the ticking starts up again. So he decides not to go that way. But then, as Vinny's turning around to go a different way, he spots this little room, and he sees a symbol on the wall. And this symbol was on that piece of paper that had all the symbols on it. So, Vinny's gone somewhere. As Vinny starts to walk into this room, he says the fucking North Star, right? And then the tape starts playing yet again. While the tape plays, Vinny finds a few pieces of paper on the floor. One of these pieces of paper looks like it has that stick in the mud on it, right? That tall man. The other one has a symbol from his piece of paper. Seems he's found his North Star, right? Now, the audio that plays on the tape is of that man screaming, somebody please help me. So my theory has been trounced. It is not Roger Palladino. It is indeed, most likely, Vinny, who is screaming like that on this tape. So, yeah. My Roger Palladino theory has been trounced. That's fine, though. That's okay. On these pieces of paper that Vinny has found on the floor, it's this piece of paper with a big symbol on it, and the other one is a piece of paper with like a weird drawing of like a man, kinda. I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's some text on the piece of paper, but you know, you want to go in depth, you want to like zoom in and try to read what's on that paper, go for it. This is the video Finding Fairmount. Go give those Everyman Hybrid boys views. I swear to God, I'll hurt and kick. I mean it. You better give them boys views. I mean it. I fucking mean it. Yes, my Roger Palladino theory has been trounced on. The audio that Habit was listening to at the end of the last video is now playing on Vinny's tape recorder. And it sounds like Vinny is pleading for his life. For someone to, God, please help me. Someone help me, you know, some stuff like that. As the tape starts to stop, we can hear what sounds like the Habit voice that we all know coming up on this Princeton tape, Vinny. Whatever audio that played on this part of the Princeton tape that we never got to hear, that Vinny died also. So I kind of wanted to go in depth on that a little bit. I like to believe that there's two kind of very different same versions of the Princeton tapes. There's the version that we know, where Vinny gets very close to the truth at the very end of the tapes. At the very end of the tapes. And he dies by Slenderman, giving him like a seizure, and then he gets pronounced dead by the hospital workers, right? I think that there's a second iteration of that tape, of that exact tape, where Vinny comes up on this whole situation, but instead of the tall man being the one to kill him, it's Habit. And I think that's what we're hearing in this video. It's pretty much the same tape, the same life lived, but an alternate ending to it. You know? That's my theory, at least. Vinny says, I'm not gonna die here. I'm not gonna die like he did. He picks up the piece of paper with the North Star on it. He says, the North Star, I could feel it. I could feel it. This is it. I could feel it. Right? He picks up the piece of paper. He says, I'm not going to die here. I'm not going to die like he did. And he says he's going to use this little device to get out of here. Right? Home stretch, Vinny. You found what you were looking for? Now get the fuck home. Get the fuck home. And that is the end of the video, Finding Fairmount. That is how it ends. And I think that is how this video is going to end also. We're going to have to cut this ending up into 2 parts, because there's just too much stuff to go through. Genuinely just way too much stuff to go through, you know? Ugh. We just went through an hour of content. A little over an hour of content. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more videos on the channel to go through in the next part. Home stretch, baby. Vinny's home stretch. We're also home stretch, baby. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna get to putting all of these, putting all this together, uploading it, and we will continue on tomorrow with the next video, which is titled Half Acre of Ash. We will continue on in part 8. Part 8 should be the final part, I swear to God. Go watch Everyman Hybrid, link in the description. Go listen to the Princeton tapes. Go listen to the Princeton tapes. Link in the description. They're very good. They're very good. Yeah. I'll catch you guys on the fucking flippity flip. Bro fist.